How's it going, everyone? Back again for my second video in 2 days. I've decided with these videos where I do the best albums of the year, the next day I'm going to shoot a quick honourable mentions video. Won't take too long, won't take too much time out of your day. Yeah, 1990 I did last night. And the first few albums I'm going to show are ones I actually forgot about. I watched a video by Aaron Alamere. I'm sure you guys know who Aaron is. He showed these because he did a top 50 of 1990 just a couple of days before I released my video. And well played, mate, for doing that, because putting 25 in order nearly made my head explode. So God knows how difficult it is putting 50 albums in order. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Billy Idol's Charm Life. Not a bad album, this. It's not as good as the ones he did beforehand, but still some good stuff on here. There's a cover of The Doors' LA Woman on here, which is massively inferior to the original, but it's still okay. I don't mind listening to it. The Loveless is really good. Cradle of Love's great. Love Unchained, The Right Way, License to Thrill. Yeah, not as good as what he did before, but still a decent album. So hence it makes the honourable mentions list. Aaron also showed this one, which I totally forgot about. ZZ Top's Recycler. Again, not as good as the two studio albums that come before this, but I still really enjoy this one. There's good stuff on there like Concrete and Steel. Tell It Like It Is. My Head's in Mississippi. Give It Up, I really like. 2000 Blues, Burger Man, and Double Back. A really good album, actually. Can't believe I forgot about this one. But definitely worthy of making the honourable mentions list. And the last one that Aaron showed that I forgot about, this is Choir Boys, which of course Aaron calls them the London Choir Boys, because over in the States they have to be called the London Choir Boys. A little bit of what you fancy. This is a really good old school bluesy sounding hard rock record. Like Aaron said, Spike sounds quite like Rod Stewart with his sort of gravelly voice. But this has got a load of great tunes on it. A band that probably should have gone to a bit bigger than they were. Did see him in London a couple of years ago, and they're still really good live. But great stuff on there, like 7 O'Clock, Whipping Boy, Sex Party, I Don't Love You Anymore. Hey You, Misled, there she goes again. A really good album. Not quite good enough for the list, but still really good stuff. On some heavy stuff now. Cannibal Corpse, Eaten Back to Life. For me, this is the weakest thing they did from their early days. They went on to do better stuff, but still some good stuff here. Shredded Humans is really good. Mangled, Scattered Remains, Splattered Brains. Born in a Casket, The Undead Will Feast, A Skull Full of Maggots. Good stuff. They went on to do better, but this is still a good album. Reissue, obviously, because if you know death metal records from back in the late 80s and early 90s, you know to find originals is quite tricky, and then when they do show up on eBay, they're bloody expensive. Some thrash, Testament, Souls of Black. Yeah, good album. The weakest one of the earliest ones, and actually probably the Ritual's probably a bit weaker than this. But still plenty of good stuff on this one. Face in the Sky, I really enjoy. Title track's fantastic. Absence of Light, Malpractice, 7 Days of May, The Legacy. A good album, no doubt about it. And definitely worthy of an honourable mention. A few people bought the fact that this one wasn't in the list. Death Angel Zac III. Yeah, it's a good album, but it's not my favourite of the early ones. The early ones, I've got to go with the Ultra Violence, but there's still good stuff here. An original press here. Don't see these very often, so lucky to have this one. But stuff like See Me in the Endless Time, Stop, and A Room with a View are really good. Yeah, some nice thrash metal. Decent album. Not my favourite of the early stuff, but still pretty good. Sacred Reich, The American Way. For me, this is only let down by the last couple of songs. They're a little bit shit. But the rest of it's all good. The title track's one of my favourite thrash metal songs. I was pretty late to the Sacred Reich party, but I'm glad I jumped on board. Love Hate's really, really good. The Way It Is, Crimes Against Humanity. Who's to Blame? State of Emergency. Yeah, it's only the last two songs that slightly let this one down. But still a solid thrash metal album. 1990 was such a good year for thrash metal. Yeah, brilliant stuff. This probably really should be in the top 25, but I've made a video now, so there we go. Entombed's Left Hand Path, classic death metal from Sweden. If you're into your heavy music, you know this album. Great stuff on here. Revel in Flesh is fantastic, obviously. Left Hand Path, Drowned, Supposed to Rot. But Life Goes On, The Truth Beyond, etc. A good, solid death metal album. Probably should have had it in my top 25. But there we go. Now I'm done. Good solid death metal from Sweden. Entombed. Staying in Sweden, for a band that for some reason totally passed me by. Yeah, I wasn't even familiar with this until I saw Mark G with a C show a while back. And then I think I did remember that when he mentioned it, but I'd completely forgotten about him. This is Carnage and Dark Recollections. This came out in 1990. Solid Swedish death metal. Features a couple of guys who went on to be Dismember. And Mike Hammett, who went on to be in Carcass and Arch Enemy. Good solid death metal, this. Title track's great. Torn Apart. Infestation of Evil. Self-Dissection. Death Avocation. Good Swedish solid death metal once again. Back in the early 90s, the Swedes knew how to knock out some quality death metal. So that's got to be said for sure. And the last one, Cedar, Swallowed in Black. Thrash metal from the United States. Definitely some touches of death metal in this one as well for me, personally. And Steve DiGiorgio on bass is always a good thing. Bass is nice and high in the mix. Really thrashy stuff. This probably would be high on my list if I was more familiar with it, but to be honest, I only first picked this album up about 6 months ago. So it probably needs a few more listens. But a great band, and this is a good album. Swallowed in Black, obviously from 1990, like all these albums are. And that concludes the honourable mentions list. Right, guys, cheers for watching. Like I said, just a quick one today. I'll catch up with you next time, and cheers for watching. Take care. Goodbye.